to stretch. Pastor Moss was beginning to talk about stretch and how we begin to expand. And here we find in the first chapter of the book of 1 Samuel where there's something going on. The first mistake is that there are two women sharing the same man. Anybody know that when you deal with two women sharing the same man, that's trouble. That's drama. Because no one wants to share, come on somebody, a man or a woman. And so we find it. I can remember a time, we got young people, so I'm going to have to mix it up a little bit. I can remember times in my high school days and trying to play the field, you know how it goes, and trying to date two girls at the same time and writing letters and all that, and had the names on each letter and coming out of the classroom and pass one girl and give her a letter and give the other girl the other letter, and they got mixed up somehow, and it didn't feel good. It doesn't feel good when you find out, come on somebody, that the one that you love is being shared with somebody else. And so here, Hannah and Peninnah, knowing the deal, knowing what's going on, that Elkanah is married to both of them. So we find that there's something that Peninnah is going through, and we find out, has anybody been bitter lately? Has anybody been bitter lately? Come on. Peninnah was able to have children, but Hannah, on the other hand, could not have any children. Have you ever been placed by somebody that looked like they had it all, and of everything that they had, God promised it to you? But for some reason, they're already progressing, and it seems like you're moving at a slow pace, and you begin to ask God, why am I not moving as fast? That's right. Why am I stuck right here in this particular mode? And so Peninnah at the breakfast table would often provoke Hannah. You know how it is. You can be sitting in church, because it goes on in church. Click over here, and you can tell when somebody's talking about you, and they pinpointing, they finger pointing, and so this is what Peninnah was doing to Hannah, provoking her at the table. I got children. You don't have any. You can look at the people on their way to their nice big sanctuaries, and they're passing and saying, we got thousands. Look over there at that little church. They're not going to bother us. They're provoking.
Talk about it.
And we can look at it as provoking God to show that He's God. It does not matter how many folk know your situation. Come on, sir. What matters is that God's glory be revealed. And so here, Peninnah and Hannah begins to become rival, and we find out that as Hannah gets tired, anybody had enough? Has anybody, just to the point that you done got frustrated, you done got tired, blood pressure done ran up, worryation, you're stressed out, come on, depression almost set in, come on somebody. And this is where Hannah was. Isn't it funny that even when you get to that point, God still is silent?
Wow.
What do we do when God ain't saying nothing? When we're trying to get point A to match point B, and we know God told us to do it, but God ain't telling us to rest. Isn't it strange where Hannah was to the point where she was about to allow her emotion, because it tells us in the 10th verse that she prayed under great depression, under great what was it? Distress. She was under great distress. Anybody been stressed out lately? Anybody been driving and headaches just come out of nowhere? Anybody been at work and headaches just come out of nowhere? Anybody been at work, heart start fluttering? Because you're just stressed. Seems like everything is on you. Look at we as pastors, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, and nobody is just taking the initiative. Anybody been there?
Yes, sir.
Restoration, you ought to be proud, and I know you probably already doing it, making sure that when pastor steps on the ground, everything is in order for him to walk into, and all he has to do is grab the mic and preach the word. And so Hannah, in the 10th verse, she goes to God, weeping, crying, heartbroken, because she's like, God, I know He's giving me everything, but I want children. I know Penina is over there. Look at them. They're like a big happy family. Somebody say look like.
Right.
Let's put a pin right there. Even though the big church across the street look like they got it going on, but there's always something that's just not right. I don't know about you, but I told Web, like I would rather have 10 quality folk than 500 demons. So Hannah prays, and also prays out of bitterness. One thing about church folk will cause you to become bitter.
That's true.
There are a lot of people that walk the streets that won't come into the church because of the mere fact the church is doing what they're doing on the outside. When are we going to become holy and righteous? When are we going to live? Well, we can dance good. We got that down pat. Music gets it going. We got, but if you ever just stand back and watch when there's a shift into worship,